Weakness to warrior mindset. Let's talk about something. How to lose fat without losing muscle mass. This is the thing that most people struggle with because they want to lose weight, but losing weight and losing fat are two different categories. Losing weight means you're losing water weight and you're losing muscle mass. Losing fat is exactly what it is. You're losing the fat without compromising your muscle. Here are some ways to be able to keep your muscle and lose the fat. Number one, when you're going into your calorie deficit, this is very, very, very important. Pay attention. If you're eating 2,700 calories and you go into a deficit of 2,000 calories, it's unsustainable. Those 700 calories are going to create a lot of hunger pains. You will be hungry, and that's going to make you want to eat, binge eat everything in the house. It has to be a controlled deficit, meaning you want to start at your maintenance calories. If you're in a freaking surplus, you want to get down to maintenance. So if you're eating like 3,000 calories, you need to go to calculator.net, type in the freaking data, and figure out what your maintenance calories are. And then you're going to take yourself through a freaking slow progression down to maintenance calories. If your maintenance calories are 2,600 and you're eating 3,000 calories, you need to drop your calories by 100, 125 to 150 calories per week. Per week. Per day for the entire week. So Monday, drop your calories 150. Do that for an entire week from Monday to Sunday. Drop 150 calories off your daily calorie intake. The next week, drop another 150 calories until your body starts to regulate, until your metabolism starts to get used to it. That sudden shock is what's called crash diets, and that's why nobody can sustain them, because they're used to eating 3,000 calories. And now they're down to frickin' goddamn 2,000. That's 1,000 calories. That's a lot of calories to be taking out of your diet and not having the effects of hunger pains. Once you're down to maintenance levels, You do not want to slash your calories down to 1800, 1500, because that's too much of a deficit. Once you're at maintenance and your freaking body has adjusted, then you want to slowly again start to reduce your calorie intake by 100 calories a day. You want to be at least in a 300 calorie deficit per day. You take your calories down slower so your metabolism starts to freaking adjust. Again, these people, I'm going to lose fat in 90 days. And they drop their calories down to 1700, and then it's unsustainable, and then they're hungry and miserable and tired and mean and all that, and then they freaking eat. They do good for the week, but then when the weekend comes, they just destroy all that freaking progress that they made because they're overeating on the weekends, because they drop their calories too fast and too low. You also need to be eating freaking high protein meals. You need to be eating at least 190 to 212 grams of protein every single day. This protein is what's going to help preserve your muscle. It's also going to help with satisfying or satiation. The more protein that you eat, you're going to feel fuller, because it's going to get into your stomach and it's going to take a while to digest. And your body's going to need to pull more energy to digest that protein. So it helps in the fat loss phase, or in aiding in losing your fat. High protein. Don't slash your calories too freaking low. Once you're in a 300 calorie deficit, you need to stay there for a while. And then every 2 weeks, for 1 to 2 days, you need to bump your calories up by 500 calories. 2 consecutive days. And that'll come from carbohydrates, fruits, vegetables, things like that. That's going to help restore your glycogen levels in your freaking body. It's also going to help your metabolism. It's going to like jumpstart it, give it a little kickstart, because it's like, hey, we're getting food. Because once you start getting less and less food and you start dropping your calories, it's going to signal the body that, hey, we're losing calories, so we might need to start storing this all the food that we get into fat. That's why you need your that's why you need your refeed days, not cheat meals. They are refeed days. Cheat meals means you go to Burger King and all that stupid shit. You don't want to do that. It's a refeed day. It's freaking vegetables or fruits, a carb source. Not a freaking burger freaking joint source or a freaking Popeyes source. It's freaking carbohydrates. Not only that, you want to start doing steady state cardio. Do not be doing HIIT training, cross training, freaking running every single day. If you, like me, enjoy the freaking, being uncomfortable and the challenge of a 5K, I do them once a month. I have a few coming up that's twice a month. But that's just one day. The rest of the days, I'm walking. I'm doing steady state cardio, walking 10,000 steps, 15,000 steps. This will help you burn fat as well. If you can, you should structure all your walking or some of your walking after your meals, because it helps digestion. It helps freaking get that blood flowing. It helps the body digest the food, and it's burning the calories. It'll also help put you in a better mood, and it helps hunger. So if you're hungry and you can't walk after your meals, then when you get hungry, walk. It'll take your hunger away. Because you're being active, you're not sitting on your ass, and usually people overeat when they're sitting on their ass. I ain't never seen anybody overeat while they're walking. Well, maybe. I mean, go to some of these parks, but purposely walking, like walking with purpose to burn fat. You also need to be hitting the gym. That's going to help preserve muscle. It's not going to build a bunch of muscle, but it can build small amounts, but it's going to help preserve that. Being that you're in a deficit, building muscle, and muscle is very freaking calorie consuming. Building muscle needs a lot of calories. It's very caloric expensive, I would say. Your mission is to burn fat, not build muscle. It's to burn fat and preserve whatever muscle you have. That way, when you get down to the ideal body fat percentage, you don't look freaking weak and scrawny. And it helps, get you somewhere. I'm in the muscle building phase right now. I didn't have much muscle mass to begin with, so I'm in the muscle building phase. You need to limit your fats as well. You should only be getting anywhere from like 30 to 40 grams of fat in your fat loss phase. Once you're in your freaking muscle building phase, you're going to jump that up between 50 and 60 grams because that's for your freaking hormone production. Okay? You need to structure your meals where it's like, 50% freaking carbs, 38 to 40% freaking protein, and then the rest is in fats. There's all kinds of calculations out there, but you need to structure that. You need the carbs for fuel, for satiation, for nutrients. You need the meats for protein, and make sure they're lean meats and healthy fats as far as you can get them from salmon, olive oil, avocados, almonds and walnuts, peanut butter, natural peanut butter that only has 3 ingredients. You also need to stop going to fast food restaurants. You need to rebudget your freaking food consumption and eat whole meals. You start doing all these things and you will get there. You also need to understand that there's going to be a point where it's going to be called the messy middle. You'll lose weight in the beginning, and then it'll start to seem to slow down. That's your body adjusting. That's your freaking metabolism adjusting. It's obviously burning fat somewhere else other than your belly. So don't get freaking hung up on the scale weight. If you're losing freaking weight on the scale at first, it's usually freaking glycogen, water, and inflammation. Once all that's burned off, then you'll start losing fat. And then it'll seem like you hit a brick wall. And that's where people stop. They don't see the freaking scale dropping as much as they want, so they quit. That's also called the quitting phase, where most people quit. You have to push through that phase. And then that's where refeed meals come in. It helps push you even further. It gets you past that hump. It gets you past that plateau. Then your body will start catching up. And it'll start dropping weight. Not as much, not as fast, but it'll fucking start to slowly come down. And then you keep going and you keep going and you keep going. All these things take time, dedication, and consistency. And you have to put in the effort. And the first effort you have to do is you have to get up off the couch and start your journey from weakness to warrior mindset.